Good evening, my listeners around the world. This is Elizabeth Tripp, your host of Nourish the Soul talk radio show and podcast. It's Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I am so excited to be here. You know, we are really going on this beautiful adventure together, and we're in the midst of really discovering the process and the layout and the design of this show. So I really want to appreciate all of you in the second episode, really being such a great support for me. And this evening, we are exploring a new platform. We're on Empowered Soul Facebook group, our private community for the tribe members, as well as we are on Riverside FM. And I've even included a link in the live video in Facebook for you to join in. And it is here in this platform that you can engage with me in a really special way, and that is via a phone call. And there'll be a button in the chat room where you can really call in and ask a question and receive special guidance from me. So, as we head into tonight's show, wow, it's a great show. It's called Flip Your Body Image Script. Before we get into the show, I really want to, share a little bit about who I am for those who are just tuning in, for those who are just joining us, and for those who have been along on the journey for, a couple of months, up to years. Thank you so much. As I mentioned, I'm Elizabeth Tripp. I am a spiritual teacher and lifestyle design coach, and I help men and women across the world love their bodies and their lives. And truly, I want to take this moment to really share my gratitude for all of you, those who are new, who are coming in, those who have shared the show, those who are loyal supporters. It means so much to me, and it is such an honor to be of service to you, to be able to shine such a bright light on the beauty of your soul journey, on the beauty of your body, and the beauty of your life. So thank you for joining me this evening and coming along on this incredible, exciting adventure. And so I had this beautiful quote I wanted to begin with. I had a quote by Mahatma Gandhi, and I just thought, wow, what a beautiful way to start today's show, to really get you guys all in the vibe of Nourish the Soul. Because really, I know you are tired of the self-hate game. I know that you deserve to love your body and your life. And truly, this show, this evening's broadcast is for you to be able to shift out of hard and into easy when it comes to feeling beautiful in the skin you're in and the life that you lead. So this is your time to sit back, relax, and go on this beautiful adventure, or as I call, an adventure of self-discovery. And this podcast is designed to truly be that bright light for you on your path. So as we begin, Mahatma Gandhi shared, I wrote this down, I have a little notebook I'm referring to, and he said, keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior becomes your habit. Keep your habits positive because your habits become your value. And keep your values positive because your values become your destiny. What a powerful quote to begin today's talk radio show and podcast from Mahatma Gandhi. What a powerful, powerful quote. So just taking a moment to really settle in to that. Let's all together take a nice, big, deep breath as we let go of the day we have just walked through. This is your time. This is your time to really allow yourself to shine. You deserve to really come back to your body out of your mind and be able to deepen your connection with yourself. Because did you know your connection to yourself, the relationship you have with your body, is the most important relationship you will ever have? Because remember, your body has been through everything. Your body has brought you through every single one of your life experiences. And it has been this incredible space holder for your mind, your emotions, your thoughts, up until this very moment right now. And so much of our own journey, really, we go about life doing and really producing and achieving. We forget the vehicle in which we are riding in. We forget the magnificence of this body, this sacred temple in which our mind is in, which hosts our feelings and our thoughts and our beliefs. And we forget that at the core of ourselves, at the center of our heart, is a beautiful light, the light of your soul. And so as we pause tonight, as we really pause and allow for ourselves to let go, I invite you to just find a comfortable place to put your feet on the ground, or to cozy up in a blanket, or perhaps to pause from making dinner, or if you're driving, to really be able to just open your ears. Let us take this moment to honor ourselves as we become aware and present to our mind, our feelings that we have then carried throughout the day. This is a beautiful practice to come back to the body. Just taking another round of breath and releasing. And if you're in a safe space, just closing your eyes and allowing your ears to open, your mind's eye to open, and just allowing yourself to receive a new way of seeing life, a new way of understanding yourself. Really, an allowing of letting go of old paradigms, of old ways of thinking, of old ways of seeing your life, your body, and yourself. And invite in this beautiful space a connection to your heart center, the center of your heart where your soul light resides. And in that, be connecting as your eyes are closed, if you're in that safe space, to a beautiful light within your heart center, your soul light. And affirm to your soul light, I am ready for you to do the driving of my experience tonight. I am ready to receive what it is I need to hear and understand for myself as it relates to my body, my life, and my soul journey. And just giving yourself that moment here with me to love yourself in such a beautiful, beautiful way. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for coming on this incredible journey this evening with me. And really, I want to invite you because this is an interactive show. This is a safe space, a beautiful place where you can share what's coming up for you and know that it's a judgment-free zone. We invite all voices to be heard. We invite everybody to share themselves. And know as you're sharing, you're speaking for your community. You're speaking for those who haven't yet found their voice. And you're asking questions and sharing comments that will enliven our time here, that will open us up to walk on different paths that are important for our fellow community members and those who are really a part of this beautiful tribe. So let us share and comment and let me know how you're feeling, what you're getting, what's an aha in the show. And really come and visit us at Riverside FM and call in. Really, call in. We're inviting that. So welcome. That was your beautiful invitation, your soul activation meditation. Feels good, right? This is your time. I love it. And everybody's soul is doing the driving. So tonight's show is about flipping your body image script. And it was so interesting, as I was thinking about the title of this show, I kind of smiled and I thought, what a great episode to precede my first one, to precede sort of the setting the stage of why I'm so passionate about sharing this message to love yourself, your body, so that you love your life. Well, interestingly, up until this point in my life, I have yet to meet a single person that doesn't have a story about their body, that doesn't have a story about their physical appearance or their body shape and size that they are telling themselves. In fact, everybody has a story about their body. And really, it can be, I'm too big, I'm too tall, I'm too wide, I'm too small, about any aspect of yourself as it relates to your height, your weight, the size of your nose, your shoulders, your legs. It is incredible when you really step back and hear this. How many of you have met anybody who doesn't have any story about their body, even if that's about their hair or their eyes or the birthmarks on their shoulders or belly? I can almost guarantee that every single human being has something they don't like or love about themselves. And really, the question comes, the things we want to draw presence and awareness to, because we're open to shifting, we're open to new paradigms, new ways of seeing, is, well, first, where do these stories come from? Where do these stories come from? If we are a soul on a human experience and having agreed to come to this journey of life, right? Remember, we talked about the beautiful game we are all playing. If we are a soul who has come to this life journey to play our own game of life, that means pick the car we want to go around the board to play in, right? Just like the game we will play with our friends and our kids and even our parents, right? We all agreed to come to this game of life. And when you go to play, you all have an opportunity to choose what kind of piece you want to ride around the game playing as. And quite similarly, we also have the opportunity, we have the power before we come here to choose the kind of body we ride in this adventure we call life, the game of life. Pretty interesting paradigm. just inviting that into your space. We choose the piece we play in the game of life, in our human life, as we play with our friends and family, and quite similarly as a soul, we choose the bodies we ride in as we ourselves are in this adventure, this game of life. And so my question still remains is, well, if we've chosen these bodies, why would we have these stories about our bodies that don't make us feel good, that don't empower us, that don't really have this sense of freedom or this real feeling of having to love the body we're in? Why? That's a beautiful question. And really, if we can invite ourselves to open up and see that the body is this beautiful tool for us to learn and grow more about who we are as souls on this adventure of life we are in, we can more deeply understand why we have these stories and why they are so important for us to draw presence and attention to. So all of you who are here have been guided, have been directed to come here for a reason. And there's something you're needing to see and understand as it relates to your body and the script you have with your body image. So as we set this stage, right? As we set this stage that we come into our bodies, having chosen them for a reason to learn and grow more about who we really are, then we can start to entertain a more inquisitive conversation. Well, if I asked all of these players to come play with me, right? Mom, Dad, come play life with me. And brother, sister, come hang out with me. And my classmates and my teacher and my friends from college, they're all going to play too, right? As we go around the board game in life, right, we get all of these different kinds of experiences. We have all these different kinds of things that occur, and we can't play on our own. We need other players to be a part of the unfolding and the experience in which we go through as we play in life. So similarly, when we ask the question, well, where do these stories come from about our body? We want to hold space to know that as souls, we also have players we've invited to come play along with us on this adventure, in this game we have chosen to come down and experience for ourselves. So it brings me to a great position or space in our podcast here where a story really feels fitting for us to be able to stretch open and really see the bigger picture here, really open up to the bigger picture of this conversation. So I want you guys to all just open ears and really be listening as I tell you this story. A client of mine came to me about 5 years ago, and she said, Elizabeth, I'm so glad I found you. You know, I've been struggling with feeling trapped in my body my entire life. And this was, right when I was really beginning my practice. And she said, I hate myself so much. There's nothing I can do. I can't look at myself in the mirror at all. I just hate what I see. And I remember looking at her and I remember saying, wow, that must be so difficult for you. And I asked, how long have you been feeling that way? And she looked at me and said, as long as I can remember. And then she took a pause. She said, but you know, one experience really stands out for me. When I was in the 6th grade, in the locker room after swimming, I remember changing out of my swimsuit and hearing a group of girls starting to comment on my body. And I heard them saying things like, look at how big her boobs are. And look where she has hair down there. And I was only 12 years old. And I remember I was more developed and I did have hair and my breasts were bigger. And I remember the shame I felt, the feeling of embarrassment. And I can even remember thinking as I looked down how disgusting I was. Wow. Now here she was with me nearly 20 years later and close to over 100 pounds overweight, claiming she felt ashamed and embarrassed to be seen because she felt disgusting. It's so wild, but really, that one incident in that locker room transformed everything for my client. That one incident created all of this emotion and started her own conversation about her appearance that lasted for over 20 years. And the impact of that was now an individual who had so much weight protecting her from a belief that underneath she was so disgusting. What if one incident in your life can mess up the whole way you see and feel about yourself? What if it just takes one incident? And what if without the powerful tools to help yourself understand what you've gone through or that incident, it can shape your reality and the rest of your life? Pretty crazy, right? Pretty wild to hear that. And I just want to sort of check in and see if anybody watching has any comment or something that came up for them as we're sharing this story this evening. Feel free to really allow yourself to share it with us all. And so we're starting to recognize that in this story, that these incidences that we have when we're little, they can have such an impact on our life. And they can create a script for ourselves about our body, about who we are. And so it helps us to then begin to start to open up as we ask the question, where do these stories about our body come from? And just opening your eyes up and seeing, where did that story for that client of mine, where did it begin for her? And just a reminder, right? I'm setting that framework, right? That we all have come into this space of our game of life, having chosen the piece of the player we want to ride around in, right? As we play that board game. And we've invited players to come in, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, classmates. Quite similarly, in our soul adventure, we invite others to come and play out experiences we need as we are on our own adventure of learning and growing and understanding who we really are. So we can't play life alone. And it wouldn't be fun if we did. And that's why in our game, and like in my client share, those girls were in that locker room that day. They were as though they were players for her in this game she was in. And so that's a very big stretch of a paradigm and something I just want you to settle in on, because in my opinion, our life unfolding and the experiences we go through, yes, they can be painful. Yes, they can be hard, but they offer us, in the wound in which they cause or create, wisdom. Everything in our life is here for a good reason and on purpose for us to be able to see more clearly, more powerfully who we are. Because truly, in the adventure of loving oneself, one must know oneself. And what better way to get to know ourselves than to actually go through a painful experience with ourselves, with our body. What an incredible tool to know who we are than with our best friend, the vehicle, the sacred temple in which we are eternally in this adventure for the 80, 90, 100 years or more we live, right? But God bless, we live more than that. Wow. What if we have our best friend right here with us? The greatest tool to teach ourselves about who we are, the greatest doorway to loving ourselves and really understanding what it means to honor ourselves, to value ourselves, than our bodies. So I want to tell another story to really help you see, where these stories come from. Because the other questions remain is, what do we do with an unhealthy story? Because we want to understand the impacts they can have, right? And just in the short client share, you saw that just her deciding and accepting that she was disgusting, her body over that 20 years then had to protect herself from such a painful perspective and way of seeing herself. Almost 100 pounds of protection she wore. What is the impact then of the story we tell ourselves about ourselves on our well-being, our personal power? And what if we have the power to flip that script and create something new for ourselves? Something that is truly nourishing and loving for ourselves and this incredible body, this beautiful sacred temple we have chosen to be in. So the story is about a farmer and a fisherman. And I want to tell you this story to really open your eyes to where we get these narratives about ourselves. So imagine there's a little farmer boy, or actually let's start with the fisherman. There's a little fisherman and there's a farmer and they live in the same town. And they've lived there for, oh my gosh, it seems like centuries, right? They have always done the fisherman work and the farmer work. And so there's this little boy, and he comes to his dad, who's this great fisherman in the town. And he says, "Dad, I can't wait to be a fisherman." And the dad, he looks down at the little boy and his eyebrows sink in and his smile frowns down. He says, "Son, it's hard work being a fisherman. It's so unpredictable. You never know what you're going to catch or if you'll catch anything. And the elements, you can't really control them. Sometimes the wind barrels down on you and you can't even really navigate the seas. The ocean almost swallows you. And it's rough out there. You're wet and cold. And you sometimes come back empty-handed. And you don't have anything to give the community." And the little boy looks up and sees the wrinkles under his dad and his eyes and the bags and how he's been weathered over the years. And he thinks, wow, Well, Dad, he says, I still can't wait to be a fisherman. And so he goes out on the boat and he experiences all the elements, the weather, the wind, the seas, and often coming back empty-handed and having to face the whole community, their want for fish, their demand for the food, and feeling, I just couldn't do it. It's so hard to be a fisherman. And that's exactly what the little boy starts to think about himself, his path of being a fisherman. And so there's a little boy across the way, and he's a farmer. His dad has been a farmer for centuries. And he says to his dad, quite similarly, Dad, I can't wait to be a farmer. And the dad looks and a big smile crosses over his face and his eyes light up. And he says, son, you're going to love being a fisherman. You're going to enjoy working with the earth and really being in sync with the climate. And the sun always shines. And the rain comes always at the best time. And our crops are always full. We have plenty of food to share with the community. It is a good life being a farmer. And the little boy looks up at the dad and oh my goodness, I can't wait to be a farmer. And so he goes off and starts to tend to the land and talk to the earth. And just as his father said, the sun shined and the rain came and an abundance of crops grew, and they always had food on their table and always had a prosperous, harvest. And all the community just loved coming to them and getting their food. And the little boy, he grew up and he had a big smile on his face and bright eyes. And it's so great to be a farmer. So really, listening to that story, listening to the fisherman and the farmer, where do we get our own narratives about ourselves? Where do the stories about ourselves come from? Where do they begin? If you're really just tuning into that story of the farmer and the fisherman, what can you see about this story that is so powerful for yourself? What can you open up to and start to see in your own journey, in your own life? And really, yes, if you have any comments, feel free to share them. Feel free to post them here in Empowered Soul or join us on Riverside FM. We want to hear from you. And so in this, can you start to see that the script we have, the story we are sharing with ourselves, it comes from thoughts that are often planted by someone else. And the moment that we accept them to be true, we make these thoughts ours. Isn't that so incredible? That the thoughts we often have about ourselves are planted in our minds from someone else. And to add upon that, we can see that the body will become a mirror image of the way that we are thinking and feeling about ourselves. As you remember the little boy, the fisherman boy, looking up and seeing the bags under his dad and the weathered look on his face. And the farmer little boy looking up and seeing how bright and smiley and shiny and ease his dad was. Our bodies are these beautiful space holders for thoughts and feelings. And remember, going through every experience we have. And so what we think and what we believe and what we accept to be true for ourselves really manifests in physical form for ourselves. It's a pretty wild way of looking at this. But if we can stretch open to see that these stories, they're not even something that we have to continue to keep to be true for ourselves, because they were just the meaning we made of what someone else said or were thinking about ourselves, or what we are setting out to do as it relates to the fisherman and the farmer. But really, as it relates to the client and her share in the locker room in 6th grade after swimming, she just took the opinions of those little girls about her breasts and her hair in her private parts and made it mean that she was disgusting. So what if these stories are not even true? And what if you have the power to decide who you want to be and what story you want to come alive, as you stretch into the notion again that you've chosen to ride in this body you're in? And that there's a beautiful soul lesson in all of your own scripts, healthy, negative, whatever they may be, for yourself in that experience. That there's something that you can learn and grow and understand more deeply about who you are, as you see that there could be a new possibility and true meaning to the incidents that has shaped or formed your own story about who you are, your body shape and size, and how you show up in the world. What if you get to decide who you are and how you would like to understand what your body is in relationship to this life adventure you're on? And what if the experiences and the incidents that have pained us and hurt us can be these powerful tools to transform us, to turn that pain and shame into purpose, to take that struggle and really that hard and transform it into easy? What if the sabotaging stories are opportunities to learn self-love? It's quite an amazing space to enter into, and we can really allow for this light to shine brightly on our own individual lives. So, just thinking about tonight's show, just really letting yourself tune in and feel the adventure we've gone on and the way that we even started it, with Mahatma Gandhi's quote there, how our own thoughts, right, become our words, and how our words become our behavior, and how our behavior becomes habit, and how habit becomes the value we have for ourselves, and our value becomes destiny. You are here on this great adventure with a tremendous amount of power to shape and shift your life. And in this beautiful offering, in these beautiful stories we're sharing, it's this experience for you to then see a thread of yourself. Because it just takes that one incident to transform our entire life and the way that we see and understand ourselves. But it also takes just one brave step to begin the adventure of opening ourselves up to a new way of seeing and believing in ourselves that can transform our adventure. Because if you want to transform your life, you must be willing to transform your story. That is a very powerful statement. You want to transform your life, you must be willing to transform your story. And truly, going back and taking a listen to even the first episode of this podcast, I invite you, to really see the invitation of my share and helping yourself find your own common thread within my story. That the meaning I made of those teenage boys, just like my client had made of those teenage girls, and just like the farmer and the fisherman made of their father's own opinion of their work, it shapes their lives. It shaped my life. And in fact, we can, the awe of it all, the magnificence of it all is, as I thought I was ugly, I became ugly in my own appearance. My eyes withered, my wrinkles more prominent, my shoulders more hunched. I lacked that confidence and shine and really feeling of being proud to be in the body shape and size I was in. And it's so incredible to see that the moment that we actually flip your body image script, we stand taller, we shine brighter, we feel better. Abraham Hicks, she's a teacher of metaphysics and spirituality. She said, go do what brings you joy. Go do what feels good. She always talks about that. Do what feels good. Go in the joy space. Step into the vortex of joy. What if when we flip the script, we let go of the old, we can actually adventure into a vibration of good and joy, and we get more and more and more of that than coming into our life. And as we experience that, the vibration of our body shifts and we get healthier and happier and we stand more upright and we feel more excited to self-express. That is the magic and the power within our own scripts. And rather than being disgusting, I am a beautiful, incredible being inside of a sacred temple, a body I have chosen to ride in to understand more deeply who I am. Wow. Imagine that script. You are so deserving of that for yourself. You deserve to feel worthy of yourself, of love, and the feeling of being desirable. So I want to really leave you with all of that and thank you all for coming on this incredible adventure again. I really, from the bottom of my heart, am so honored to come here and be of service. It is truly what lights my life up. I love shining a bright light on your journey and being here as a guide for all of you. So do share, spread the word. It's a call of action. Let's let everybody know about our special community and to join us on Riverside FM, the studio, Nourish the Soul, and really call in, ask questions, become a part of this incredible experience. Let's grow this community and know that podcasts will be uploaded every other week. We're going to be going live first Tuesday and third Tuesday of the month, but they'll be up on iTunes and Stitcher and Podbean as we evolve. So exciting. So in grace and ease, let us all take one deep breath again together and know you got exactly what you needed. And in your next steps moving forward, you say yes to clarity. You say yes to new possibility. You say yes to loving the skin you're in, the body you ride in, and doors will be opened for you. Your path made clear, the scripts letting go. All right, beautiful community. This is Elizabeth Tripp, signing out. Until I see you next, go be your brilliant self.